Lucy stood frozen, but in front of her was Angelo, staring at her, like she was a puzzle he had almost figured out. He tilted his head slowly, then smiled. Faint, unbothered. "You really are something." Lucy didn't move, didn't flinch, didn't blink, her face a perfect wall. Angelo stepped closer, not rushed, never rushed. He looked at her this time, really looked, up close, like he was reading something written between her features. Then he smiled again, wider. "This is what you get," he said quietly, "when you marry someone older than you." A pause. "Now he's not good enough anymore." His eyes gleamed. "Moving on to younger men, Lucy." Something cold slid down her spine, but she didn't let it show. Not 1 inch. Then Angelo's hand moved. Slow, deliberate. He reached into his pocket and slipped out a photograph, held it up, casually, like it was nothing, like it wasn't everything. Lucy's eyes dropped to it just for a fraction of a second, but her mind screamed. Her and James, that moment. That specific moment, how, when, her fingers wanted to tremble. She felt it building from somewhere deep, but she pressed it down. Locked it, buried it alive. She lifted her eyes back to Angelo's, still steady, still cold. "How sure are you?" she said, her voice silk. "Anyone can edit photos these days." A beat. She tilted her head slightly. "Who exactly is going to believe that?" Angelo stared at her, then laughed. Loud, genuine, like she had just said something delightful. "Lucy, Lucy!" He shook his head slowly, still smiling as he stepped closer again. Even closer this time. Close enough that his voice dropped, low, private, just for her. "How long are you going to keep pretending?" His eyes darkened. "That beautiful-looking son of yours," he paused. Let it hang there, heavy. "I've already given you both enough time to at least." He stopped himself, smiled. "You know what I'm capable of." The corridor felt like it was shrinking. Like the air itself had pulled back, making room for something dangerous. Lucy held his gaze 1 second too, then she moved. Calmly, deliberately. She reached forward and adjusted his suit. Smoothed his lapel with her fingers like he was something small, something manageable. Then she smiled, beautiful, fearless. "Go ahead," she said softly. "Show Victor." A pause. "And then what?" Her eyes held his, unwavering. "Do you really think he'll leave me?" She let that sit. "Think, Angelo." Her voice dropped, gentle, almost kind. "I'm saving you the embarrassment of disgracing yourself." Then she turned and walked, heels steady against the floor. Each step controlled, each step deliberate, until she stopped, just before the corner, didn't turn around. "Keep fighting," she said quietly, a breath. "Just know," now she glanced back, her eyes ice. "I will fight harder." She disappeared around the corner. Angelo stood there, still, his eyes cold now, that smile gone. For the first time, the corridor felt quieter than it should. Inside the car, the door had barely closed before Lucy collapsed against the seat. Like every bone in her body had waited just for this moment to give out. Her chest rose and fell rapidly, her hands shaking now, both of them. She pressed them together hard, trying to stop it. She had walked out of that corridor like a queen, but inside she had been 1 breath away from falling apart. Her phone was already in her hand, dialing, 1 ring. 2, "We need to see." Her voice came out steadier than she felt, but James had known her long enough to hear what she wasn't saying. Back at school, Dylan was not himself. He sat at his desk, but his eyes kept drifting. To Owen, again. And again, he couldn't stop it. He had tried, 3 times now, maybe 4. His fingers drummed restlessly against the desk as he stared, then caught himself, then looked away, then drifted back. Why? Why does my heart do that? His jaw tightened. He had already come to a conclusion, one that terrified him. Because why would his heart race like this for another guy? Across the room, Owen felt it. The stares. She always felt them. It was nothing new. She had been stared at her whole life for different reasons in different rooms by different people. She had learned to let it slide off her like water, but her mind wasn't on Dylan. It was on the man, the cameraman. He had escaped. She swallowed hard. One of her brothers sent him, she was almost certain, not for her, for Lucy. They were watching Lucy. The thought settled cold and heavy in her chest. She walked into the classroom and felt it immediately. The shift in the air, that specific silence, the kind that meant something was waiting. Her eyes moved to the board. 3 words. She looked at it. Long, then sat down, didn't flinch, didn't react, opened her book like the board said nothing at all. But the room was watching, waiting for a crack, a flinch, anything. They got nothing. That irritated Frank more than anything else could have. He had hated Owen since the first day, since the moment she walked through those doors and stole every room she entered without even trying, without even caring. He pushed back his chair, walked over, stood over her desk. "Just admit it," he said loudly. "You've been caught already." Owen didn't look up, turned a page. Frank's eye twitched. That calm, that unbothered silence, it was worse than an insult. His hand shot out, grabbed Owen's collar, yanked her upward. The class gasped, chairs scraped. Before Owen could even calculate her next move, Dylan was already there, between them. "Let go!" His voice was different, not nervous, not loud, still. Frank looked at him, then laughed, slow, mocking. "Back off, Dylan." Dylan didn't move. "Stop your madness," he said quietly, then swung. His fist connected. The class erupted. Frank staggered, his hand flying to his jaw, eyes blazing as he straightened. "So that's how it is." He looked between them both, something ugly curling into his smile. "Defending him like that." A pause. "Don't tell me you're gay too." The words landed like a slap. Dylan's mouth opened, but nothing came out. Because for one horrible second, he didn't know what to say, and Frank saw it, everyone saw it. Then Owen stood up. Slowly. The anger that had been sitting quietly beneath her surface rose, not loud, not explosive, just present. Unmistakable. She looked at Frank, then at the room, at every face watching, waiting, judging, and so... Her voice cut clean through the noise. "What exactly is wrong with being gay?" Silence. Complete. "Is it bad?" Nobody answered. Nobody moved. Owen's eyes dropped to Dylan, standing there, lost, conflicted, looking like he was one more second away from unraveling. And without another word, she grabbed his collar, pulled him forward, and kissed him. The class froze. Every sound gone, every breath held. Then, from the corner of the room, a stillness, different from the rest. Drake stood there, arms crossed, eyes fixed on Owen, on them, his jaw tight, his expression unreadable. But his eyes said everything he couldn't.